Yo, what's up guys? It's Toke, and welcome to Phase 3, easily the most frustrating phase, if not Phase 5. When learning, this is the most frustrating phase, and if you do it the way that I'm showing in this guide, if you phase him after a magic onslaught into a red virus, there are 6 auto attacks before the first special, which is the virus, and then 3 auto attacks before he surges, so that gives 9 total auto attacks, not including stuns to delay those autos of time to onslaught. These are some important things to keep in mind during Phase 3 or about Phase 3. Each minion represents a special attack, and each minion up allows Telos to do 1 pulse. Usually they don't have that much HP, so you can just put a bleed on them to drop them. And it's also a DPS based phase. Picture a special attack bar as a tug of war. The more damage he does to you, it goes up to the right, and the more damage you do to him, it goes down. When the special bar goes to the left, which is down, as you do more damage to him, he steals your adrenaline and prayer to charge up his minions. And note, he can pulse you up to 3 times during the virus if his special attack bar is all the way to the right. It's like 3 pulses in a tick, and it's not good. But also, Reflect and Debilitate can half this damage. So I'm going to show one of my better Phase 3s that I recorded recently first, and this is at half speed, and so you always drop down on the same square. I run backwards into the southeast corner because this is a safe spot where the beam cannot spawn on Telos. And so run to this spot and do these abilities. First, re-overload, of course, vulnerability on dropdown, enhanced Excalibur on dropdown, put your Amulet of Souls switch on, Dreadnought, Concentrated Blast. If you're over 150% in Rage, Impact to break his freedom or try to, Wild Magic, Dragon Breath, Sonic Wave, and then I Adren Pot and Surge or walk to the beam. Make sure your Dreadnought doesn't disappear, and then Onslaught. And it's kind of tricky. You kind of got to make sure that he doesn't walk you out of this onslaught before you click the onslaught. So get in the beam, wait at least 1 tick, and then onslaught. After your onslaught, you want to make sure that you pull him out of the beam if he is in the beam. If you have a ton of DPS to do on him still before he phases, try to attack one of the minions, and then of course you escape from the surge. But you can use chains on Telos or an AoE, and it will drop one of the minions if it's on top of him. The next one is the hold still, so make sure you freed him and get your res. And this rotation and that's the phase complete. But I'm going to show a couple scenarios where it's different and what to do when you mess up, etc. Because P3 doesn't always go as intended. So I intentionally phased him after a Tendril into Phase 3, so he's going to start with the Hold Still Invader. So when he does this, and also in this clip I have absolutely 0 adrenaline, so I activate Excalibur, and then I Vulnerability and D-Breath, and try to build adrenaline. I also was eating up because I wasn't sure if I was full HP either. So you have to count his auto attacks, and he does 7 auto attacks, and then he does a Hold Still Invader. So make sure you're counting his auto attacks, and then try to make it to where he lands where he's not in the beam when you get your res after the 7th auto attack. Then I would wait for the beam to switch and try to make it to where you escape from, or you make it to where he jumps on you where the first hit was, where he's out of the beam, and then get in the new beam and Sunshine, because then it becomes a DPS race, because you can see the bar at the top is a tug of war. And basically, if that goes all the way to the right, he starts to pulse you. And if you have a ton of damage to do, there's 3 minions up, and there's still quite a bit of damage to do. So if he starts pulsing you, you can reflect and debilitate and drop the minions, and then get in the beam, and the pulses will hit you for less. And that's worst case scenario. If you can't get him to phase before he does the virus, then drop the minions and get in the beam and reflect. This next Phase 3 rotation is the ideal Phase 3, what you want to happen. And if you can do this properly or practice this, honestly just try to stay calm and do all your abilities that you're supposed to do and get your rotation down and try to get into that beam and onslaught as soon as possible, and make sure he's stunned and vulned. And it should go fine. If you're having trouble with it, feel free to ask me if you have any questions in the comments below. I'd love to help you out with any information I can. If I forgot anything, please let me know. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all in phase 4.
Where do I go?